So I've been making these really cool hexagons and plates. These are made out of solid grocery bags. I love the marbling pattern. It's made really simple. I'll show you how. But it only takes like about 15, each of these are about 15 garbage bags. Makes like a solid plate. I came up with a really good method to throw into the press. You get these really nice, very consistent plates. And I've been turning them into hexagons because I was hoping to make dice vaults. This is the exact sizing of the Wormwood Hexitime like solo tiles or their dice vaults. So I got that all measured out, and once I had one, it was really easy to copy. I could just, like this double-sided tape on here, I could just stick it onto the plate, and then line it up in the cutter, and the top one sits right up against the blade, making it really easy to duplicate them. So they're all exactly the same size. And I don't know what I'm going to do with them, though, because I don't really have a good way of cutting out the holes that I want. I'm hoping to one day get really heavy-duty leather-cut clicker dies. They're these big, if you know what they are, they're basically giant cookie cutters that are sturdy. And I can push them in the arbor press and hopefully cut through this much plastic. They're meant for leather, so I don't know if they can cut through something this thick. But hey, maybe one day we'll try it. But other than that, I don't really have a good way of making neat holes. But I was hoping to stack them up together and bond them. Bonding is something I'm probably going to go over in another video here coming up. How do we actually bond pieces of plastic together? I'm trying to make a really thick one, but I've actually been having trouble making thick plates. What I was doing is I was just making like these normal thin plates. I was just letting the thickness be determined by the viscosity. Like basically just putting it in the plate, and I think I only had like, I only had like a few washers in here to make it somewhat consistent. But then I started taking all the scrap pieces and melting them together into a big plate. Now, I'm not getting there yet. It's been very difficult. I got a large stack of washers, and it's been taking a lot of remelting and trying. So, again, a little bit of honesty. It's diminishing returns. The bigger you try to go, and it's not much bigger, but the more difficult you can be. You can see it ended up like kind of lumpy and weird. But I'm hoping to get that to 15 millimeters so I can make exactly one of Wormwood's gamer tiles. But anyway, I'll show you the process here as soon as the cat is done playing with the bags. You little monster. Are you done? Hey. Hey. Knock it off. Knock it off. Alright, let me show you how I make these plates with this gorgeous marbling pattern. I use mostly brown bags, but you can use any color combination. You probably only need like one brown bag, but you'll get the gist. Anyway, we need about 15 bags, and we're going to make a plate in one of our standard presses. So I've got 14 Kroger bags. So a real shame about Kroger is they don't use any recycled material in their recycling. Do you mind? This is what I have to deal with. Jesus. Anyway, Kroger's known for using only virgin plastic. So they like their bags to be nice and neat. Now I like Kroger, but I think that's a really bad quality. Anyway, take 15 brown bags. We put them in one white bag. No racial jokes in the comments. And here's how we get the marbling pattern. We compress this down into a little ball. I like to push down the brown to make sure it doesn't pop up. Hey, don't say it in the comments. And I really pull these tight. Just trying to get all the air out of there. Trying to make a nice, neat little ball. And give it a bunch of good twists. And then once it's twisted up, kind of reverse the bag over so you have it open on the other side. And then you can just tie this off. And it doesn't really matter, but I'll tuck these in. And when this is flattened, see, this one white layer is rather thin. It's not going to show up very well except on the thicker spots. So you get all those really cool striations. Alright, let's get this loaded up. I've got a few washers here to get like a nice, decent thickness. Nice and even. Put the ball in the center. Now you can do less than 15 and a little bit thinner. Probably going to have an easier time. Wouldn't really go more than that. I used to make grocery bags into giant plates on my really big press. Alright, this is going to be difficult. But I realized that was kind of a waste of effort. Again, diminishing returns. It's always about diminishing returns. You might be able to do something, but doing less is probably just going to make your life easier. So yeah, just 15 bags and making smaller plates is way easier than making giant 1-foot plates out of grocery bags. But the problem with grocery bags is when you compact this ball and they start melting, the outside ones will lose their strength, and so the inner ones will expand. You need to keep them contained. A lot of my older projects, do I have one nearby me? I do not. I used to cram grocery bags into milk jugs in order to keep them more contained. But then I invented the press, and that got a lot easier because the press naturally keeps the grocery bags contained. They don't want to expand. So you have to remember that this is really wanting to get bigger again. You got to keep it like under pressure. But the LE press that we've got here works great for that. Oh, actually, that's right. That's what I normally do. I'm not good at this. I crank it down, and that's when I put on these, the stationary ones, so it's really smashed down. Ugh. Told y'all, my videos aren't very good. You gotta bear with me. I am no Casey Neistat or Peter Brown or Pocket 83, but I'm trying. Anyway. There we go. Okay. So you can see we can really put those grocery bags under a lot of pressure and be just fine. Anyway, now that it's down, this will just make your life easier to put the springs on. You can really cinch them down. Now, this much pressure is a little bit overkill. You could melt it, but I don't know, you might have to melt it twice. Anyway, I don't know, I like overdoing it. Really smash those bags down. So I mean, they don't actually have a whole lot to travel, but that'll ensure that it'll get nice and flat, nice and quickly, which I think makes for better results. Anyway, don't really need to worry about the bag sticking out on the sides. I have found that because it's so thin, there's so little plastic here, once it starts heating up, it'll actually shrink. Jesus, cats. It'll shrink inside the press and then make a pretty normal plate that will be contained in the press. Anyway, I'll go throw it in the toaster oven, and you can see what it turns into. Alright, let's see what we got. And these are really convenient. If I end up selling presses, these pre-made springs are definitely going to be a part of it. But whoo boy! Oh yeah, look at that. Oh man, perfect thickness. All right, well, there we go. Perfect thickness, nice and sturdy, beautiful pattern. Oh yeah. All right, let's turn this into a hexagon. All right, first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut these lumpy edges off. A little bit more there. It's not a straight line anymore, but oh well. There we go. Actually, all right. Now, where do we want to put our hexagon here? Like all this red here, so we'll put it there. And I like to line up the one side, just one less cut. Now I lower the blade a little bit, just enough to bump into my guide, but this is the flat side of the blade, so nice and easy. Boom. That hasn't fallen off yet, but that's okay. We're going to leave it there. Oh, tape is slipping, so let's line it up again. There we go. I've had time to write a book about all the things Okay, I don't actually know the words to that song. I was listening to it recently. Ta-da! Ta-da! Gorgeous. I might end up, if I don't make any dice faults or gaming tiles, I might end up making a really large version of Pocket's Isopath game. Yeah. Could probably make it faster if I had smaller hexagons, but I don't know. I really like showing off, having big pieces of plastic to show people, hey, look, this is what my press is capable of. Oh, and for, you know what, for people always asking for me to make coasters, I guess I could throw this at them and show them just how terrible HDPE is for coasters. I mean, I guess you could add cork to it, but you need to add cork to both sides, kind of defeating the purpose of, you know, making an HDPE coaster. But look how slippery this is. And, you know, putting a drink on top, that's just asking for, like, trouble. Yeah, so, now Now, I appreciate people that are like, "Oh yeah, you should make a coaster." You're like, I appreciate it, but these are terrible coasters. Oh, I'm gonna die. Okay, bye. Recycling's a lie. Oh fuck. Oh.
I've had time to write a book about the way you act and